China is finally biting back. If you're new to the tech war between brands like Apple, Samsung, and the well-known Chinese brands like Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus, you probably also remember Huawei before the ban, which was catching up to the big ones. It reached second place before actually getting banned. And after that, for the past 2 years, we have had just Apple and Samsung dominating the scene. But check this article out. We have this article from Reuters, and check this out. Apple, Samsung smartphone shipment fall in fourth quarter as China competition bites, EDC says. And what's EDC? Just in a moment. So basically, we have smartphone shipment for Apple and Samsung decline in the fourth quarter globally as they grapple with intense competition from Chinese companies, including Xiaomi, according to preliminary data from the International Data Corporation. The global smartphone market rebounded strongly after 2 years of decline, with Chinese smartphone companies rapidly expanding their market share through aggressive growth in low-end devices and strong focus on the domestic market. So this is some sort of declaration from a senior research director. This really needs to be noted. He says, while we remain optimistic about continued growth in 2025, and this is for the Chinese brands, the threat of new and increased tariffs from the new US administration has elevated uncertainty across the industry. So what he is saying is that, like the US always does, if there is a strong competitor, they will try to cut it off, just like they did with Huawei a couple of years ago. If you remember back then with its last, the Huawei P30 Pro, they basically had the catch up to Apple in sales. They had taken over Samsung, so they were second worldwide. And when Apple was actually, I will not say that they were afraid of Huawei, but you know, they were starting to feel the competition. And so the Huawei chief CEO used to always say that he loved the Apple devices. So, but anyway, they got banned. Huawei devices in general got banned for a crime that now that Apple has been fined for. Imagine if the Chinese government banned Apple from from China. What will happen to its sales globally? And yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, Apple global shipments fell by 4.1% to 76.9 million units in the fourth quarter. So all of this is happening in the last quarter, and I will tell you why, in my opinion. Well, Samsung shipment dropped by 2.7% to 51.7 million, as competition from Chinese companies such as Xiaomi, Oppo, and Honor intensified. It's not just Xiaomi, Oppo, and Honor. We also have OnePlus, and just in a second I will tell you why. Oh, never mind, I will just tell you why now. This is probably happening in the fourth quarter because this year we have had several companies, such as several phones, I will say, in the last quarter coming out, like the Redmi 10 Pro, the Vivo X200 Pro. And we have also had mid-rangers coming from Xiaomi's, from the Pocos, the OnePlus just announced it, previously announced it, even if the phone came out in early January, the 13 series, which was a really big hype. Usually in other years they used to overlap a little bit with the big brands and try to compete directly with the release dates from brands like Samsung, Apple, and things like that. This year, to me at least, it seems like the first year that's basically dedicated to these companies, these Chinese companies. We know A few of them are under an umbrella company, like the Oppos, the Vivos. However, among the top 5 smartphone brands last year, Apple shipment fell by 0.9%, Samsung by 1.4%. Xiaomi showed the fastest growth with 15.4% from Xiaomi. Xiaomi this year has had incredible phones. We have had the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is an incredible photography device. If you remember, they had an accessory that you could attach to make it a camera, and it was amazing. But check this out. Chinese mobile maker shipped 56% of the global smartphones in the fourth quarter, marking the highest combined volume ever in a quarter, as they expanded their footprint across Europe and Africa, boosted by their low-end and mid-range devices. We know brands like the Honor, the Xiaomis really love to make these mid-rangers, and we love to call them flagship killers. They give incredible specs, and as I said, they have been marketing their devices in that fourth quarter, and I believe that's why they've taken such a good position, because they put themselves between the Apple event and the Samsung event. So I believe that's why. Despite the continued growth across several regions, we have seen a decreased demand for foldables in the market, despite intensified promotion and marketing, said Anthony Scarcella, research director for client devices at EDC. They also say smartphone makers have started shifting research and design spend away from foldable smartphones as consumers' interest remains flat, Scarcella said. I'll tell you what, I'll give you my opinion about this. The reason you have decreased demand for foldable devices, in my opinion, is that overall, at least for the West, innovation has stopped, is stagnant. So if you roll back this 2024, the only notable devices that were foldable were just a few, like the Oppo foldable. Everyone just loved that because of the big camera. So it was like the first foldable that could give flagship level cameras. And we had the trifold from Huawei, which was an incredible device. I believe Huawei, in the end, in the past few years, it has been the only company giving us improvement for the foldable device, because we have the trifold which can unfold into a tablet, but then when it's folded, it's super thin. And mind you, they were not even using the silicon carbon battery technology, so you can only imagine the next generation of that device, what it's going to be. But anyway, there you have it. China is biting back. The US will probably do something like sanctioning them. But anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. See you soon.